Hi everybody! I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you're all smiling and enjoying a lovely day. In this following tutorial, I'll be showing you on how to connect StreamerBot and VNyan together, so that way, if you want to utilize some of StreamerBot's extra tools that maybe VNyan doesn't have, then you can be able to be a lot more powerful as a streamer by having both VNyan and StreamerBot. And as you know, or maybe you don't know yet, but StreamerBot has a brand new UI, so this is going to be a remake of my previous tutorial, so hopefully this will work, and even the explanation style. I'll do my best. But first thing we're going to do is that on the menu right here, click on menu here, and click on the settings over here. Go under the miscellaneous and then scroll down until you find the WebSocket area here and click on start receiver. This is so that way VNyan can start listening. You know, ears are open for VNyan and they're trying to listen to see who's trying to talk to me. But StreamerBot is so far away, VNyan cannot hear StreamerBot at all. So we need to go ahead, so once we have again that enabled, we need to tell StreamerBot to talk with VNyan, because VNyan's trying to listen to someone, but StreamerBot's kind of like just so far away. Like we gotta do that. So go over to StreamerBot right here, and then you're going to scroll down, and you're going to find the servers and clients section right here. Then you're going to click on the WebSocket server, and then click on Auto Start right here. This is so that way every time StreamerBot turns on, it will automatically start the WebSocket server, so you don't have to think about it ever again. And then you're going to go here to server status and start the server pretty much. So that way StreamerBot is right now, StreamerBot's like, okay, it's somewhere close in the area next to VNyan, but StreamerBot is still not talking to VNyan because StreamerBot doesn't know that VNyan's in the area still. So we have to go to the custom WebSocket clients here, then right click and then click on add, and then we're going to name this to VNyan. For the endpoint, we're going to type this long phrase, but bear with me. Again, pause the video if needed, but we're going to type the phrase ws://127.0.0.1:8000, or pretty much whatever the port number is here. If you change this port number here, you better make sure that it reflects here as well. Just a heads up. And then /VNyan. So it should look exactly like this. Then click on Auto Connect and then reconnect from on disconnect. So it's automatically going to try and reconnect if it loses something. Then click on OK. And now you're going to right click and then click on connect. If the status says open, that means they're in the area. They're actually are able to talk to each other. But StreamerBot doesn't know what to say to VNyan, so we need to make it where, now that they're able to talk to each other, they're communicating, or they can, we gotta tell StreamerBot what exactly to tell VNyan. So we're gonna go over to platforms right here, and we're gonna go to Twitch. Now again, for this example in this tutorial, I'll be using Twitch. The information can apply to all these other platforms here, or any other advanced controls you may want, because again, if I try to make a tutorial explaining about every little thing about StreamerBot, I think we'd be here for like 5 hours or more. So I'm gonna keep it simple. So we're gonna go over here to Twitch. Make sure that you're logged in with your Twitch account, and make sure it's an affiliate or a partnered Twitch account, because if you're not an affiliate or partner, then you're not going to get the Twitch redeems. It may change in the future, who knows, but just keep that in mind. Log into your Twitch account. Then go over to your channel point redeems right here, and then you're going to right click and then click on create reward. Then we're going to make it where we're going to have a water redeem instead. So we're going to call it water redeem, or throw the water. And then we'll have description be throw water at streamer. We'll set the color right here to a blue one by clicking on that color picker icon. We'll set the cost, let's say, to maybe 500. We can set a cooldown to 30 seconds so it doesn't get spammed too much. And then for the group, we'll name this one Twitch Redeem, so we keep it nice and organized. And, however you want to set it up pretty much. Click on Create. And then what we have now is a Twitch redeem, which should be able to reflect into Twitch as well, so it should all be good there. And then once you have that, we're gonna then go over to the actions and queues, so actions here. And this is where we're gonna set up our actions, so that way when StreamerBot is listening to Twitch, because Twitch is like, hey, I got a channel point redemption going happening. You gotta do something about it, StreamerBot. And then StreamerBot's like, oh yes, I hear you, Twitch. That's VNyan's job though, not really mine. So I gotta tell VNyan to do that. So in this case, we gotta go over to actions, right click, and then click on add. We're gonna name this one Water Redeem. And then for the group, we're gonna call this Twitch Redeem Action. So this is pretty much the entire group of Twitch redeems, but the specific action we're having is Water Redeem, or whatever redeem you want it to be. So click on OK. Then we're gonna have the trigger be like Twitch is trying to tell StreamerBot. So make sure you go to add, then Twitch. And then once you have that, it could either be, you know, command or redemption. For this example, we're going to do channel point redemption. So channel reward, then reward redemption. And then we're going to specifically say it's the throw the water here. And then we're going to click on OK. If you don't have a redemption, you can also create on the a reward here as well for your convenience. But click on OK here. And then over in sub action, this is where we're going to be able to tell StreamerBot what to say to VNyan. So right click here, click on the add button. Then you're going to go over to core, then C#, and then execute C# code. Once you have that, this panel will load up here. This is where we're going to be able to type out the code. And again, I'm not a coder myself. Do not panic. You don't need to know code. I'm telling you what to do. So what we're going to write here, just copy this exact same thing. Like anytime you have a redeem or something you want to say to VNyan, you type this exact thing. cph.websocket send, then parentheses, then quotations. And then it's whatever the redeem's name is. So for our case is throw water. So keep that in mind. Whatever is in orange here, this is what is going to be what we're telling VNyan. So remember that. You might want to copy that text. And make sure at the end, there's a semicolon. Because if this is not here, it's not going to work. So make sure it's typed out exactly like this. This is all you need to do. And then once you have that, you'll click on OK. And now that we have all this set up, we're going to then go over to our node graph right here. Then we're going to go ahead and click on add a new graph. And then we're going to go here and give it a name. So I'm going to name this one Water Redeem. Or we can name this Twitch Redeem, even Twitch Redeem, like that. Right down there, and then click on rename. So that way we're able to have this graph be dedicated to our Twitch redeems. Once you have that, we're going to then add a node called Websocket. So other callbacks, Websocket. And then from here, we can actually add the name that, you know, again, the orange text I told you about earlier. Whatever is in here, this is what StreamerBot is going to say. So this is dedicated for the water redeem. This can also be like throw redeem or dance redeem, whatever it is. And you'll name it to throw water, or again, like I said, whatever the redeem name is that you put in that orange text. Now, do keep in mind also, there are more advanced ways to go about this. Like, you can utilize these extra little things here with a dictionary or compare text if you want to be more specific, especially with capitalization or something like that. But I'm going to keep this simple. I don't want to overcomplicate, but you can go overcomplicate if you want, depending on what you want. So once you have that, because we're doing this as a water redeem, we're going to type in water and then having that. So let's go ahead and set this up so it's blue instead, like this. I'll have it where it's on top of me. Now, because also I'll have the opacity, but because of the fact also that this thing doesn't have its own like little timer on when to stop, we're gonna need to tell VNyan that, hey, after a certain amount of time, you gotta turn off the water redeem. You can also do it in StreamerBot, but we can do it in VNyan. So I'm gonna type in wait, because this is like think of it kind of like just a little timer here. So what this is going to do is that when this gets triggered, right? We're gonna have it where it's going to trigger the water immediately, like this. So it's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna turn on the water, but then there's going to be another timer here called wait. It's like a delay node or something like delay, timer, wait, whatever you call it. And then for this one, it's in milliseconds. So think of 1,000 equals 1 second. So for, let's say in our case, we want this to last for, let's say 5 seconds. So then we have to put 5 and then 1,000. So if it's 5,000. If it's 10 seconds, it's 10,000. If it's 30,000, so on. It's milliseconds. So once you have that, you then connect it like this. So it pretty much has it like, again, it's going to trigger that first. After 5 seconds, it will turn it back off. Just like that. And once you have this going on here, you can then test it in StreamerBot to make sure it is working. It's very important you test that StreamerBot's listening. So once you have that, bar redeem, the code there, and then here, right click and test on trigger and see if it works. And as you can see, it's working. Now let's see if it stops. Oh, and it stops. So it is working. Now, if by any chance it's not working for you at all, make sure that both your WebSockets in VNyan, again, in the settings, WebSocket start receiver is enabled. Make sure that for StreamerBot here, scroll down to, again, make sure that this is enabled as well. Make sure you added the VNyan server here. Make sure those are there, and make sure also that all this is set up, especially making sure that the right name and that semicolon right there, make sure that this is typed properly, so that way it should be able to work. If it, even with all your steps and it's still not working, there may be a firewall issue. You could try to add VNyan to the firewall and see if that helps or something like that. But if it's still not working for whatever reason, again, VNyan does have a native Twitch nodes in here. You could also give it a try, but even then, you could report the issue to StreamerBot. Again, not the VNyan specific part, but the fact that the WebSocket is not working, or you can ask in the VNyan or Suvi's Discord server, which is also kind of the VNyan Discord server. If you need any further help regarding this, I'll try my best to answer questions as much as I can, but even then, those Discord servers are there, especially if you run into the WebSocket related issue, because I'm not really that super intelligent with WebSocket, but I do know how to set this up. But hopefully, like, this should help you out on at least getting started. And again, like I said, whatever happens after the WebSocket command, whether it's a water redeem, throw redeem, dance redeem, it could be any redeem, anything you want that you're able to do in VNyan. As long as this WebSocket command's here and everything's all connected, everything's practically just the same thing over and over and over. I'll also quickly show you as well the commands, just in case you're really curious about that. Like, you can still have it set up on VNyan here with the commands, but I'll still show you just in case. So for commands on StreamerBot, you just go over here, you can right click and then add a command, and then we can name this one, let's say, to Shoutout, right? So we're gonna have it where the command is !shoutout, and we can have this be called Twitch commands. And then we can have it where you could set it where it denies everyone except, or allow everyone, or unless you want specific people to be allowed, like your moderators or whatnot, you can set your permissions here. And then you can have it ignore bot accounts if needed. The default setting should be fine. You can have it start or be exact. So there's this. I rather have it, again, most of the settings you can leave by default, except cooldowns. I probably would add a cooldown if I were you, like 10 seconds or 30 seconds, so that way people don't spam it, or even you. And then you can have user cooldown be 30 or even a longer number if needed. Now for sources here, you can set it to be Twitch message, or you can have it be YouTube even as well, especially if you plan on using like the loyalty point extension that StreamerBot has, which I'm not going to explain how to do that setup in this tutorial. That'll be a separate tutorial probably, but I'll still link you the tutorial from the original person who made it if you want to have an early grasp at how their system works for YouTube point system. But here we'll focus on it being for Twitch message. And then, yeah, pretty much, you know, you set it up to how you want, whatever command you like, then click on OK. And you should have a command going on here. Then we go back to actions here, and we can add another action here. So add here, right click, add, and we'll name this one Shoutout Command. But this one, we're gonna call it Twitch Command Actions. Like that, just to keep it separate. So there you go. So we have a section for our redeems and another section for our commands. Then from here, you're going to right click and add. Now, because it's a command, we have to go over to core, then commands, then command trigger instead. So again, add, core, commands, trigger, right there. And then you add the shoutout or whatever your command is going to be. Click on OK. You can also, again, create a command over here if you so desire, if it's easier. Click OK. And then over here, right click, add core, C#, and then execute C# code here. So that way, again, we're going to use the same exact line of code, but we just have the orange text be different. So again, cph dot websocket send parentheses quotation marks, and we'll have this one be shoutout command. Or we can even have it be exclamation mark shoutout. Whatever however you want the orange text to be. This is literally the message we want StreamerBot to tell VNyan. So it's that. So copy. And also, don't forget, how about I forget there, the semicolon. Don't forget the semicolon. So click on OK here. And then you should have all that set up. And then we're going to go back to VNyan here. And let's see what we can have in the same node graph here. So we'll have, again, WebSocket. Add WebSocket here. We're going to give the command text this one, the exact one that was in the orange text. And then, I wonder what we can put for this thing. We could probably have it where we can make it throw something. So throw item for when a shoutout happens. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say we're going to, so for command text, we make sure that's there. We're going to have it so it's going to throw an apple at us. Yeah. We want to throw 5 apples. We want to destroy after 20 seconds, maybe. You can, of course, set the settings here as well. Like if you want flinch power to be less, if you don't want to be yoinked a lot, so I'll make it a little less. The time between throws, I'd say, because it's in milliseconds, I'd say 1,000. So it's kind of like, it's like every 1 second, it's like there's a small delay between it. And then if you want to make it sticky, you can. I'm gonna have it not be sticky. And then we can have the volume be lower in case. And then of course, you can have it set to a different body part or a different direction, like left or right. So again, if you want to have a little bit more specific controls on the throw, you can. I'm just going to leave it how it is. And then we're going to have we're going to try testing the thing. So StreamerBot, shout command, right click, test trigger. Allah, stop. Well, at least it worked though, even though my head just got bamboozled there. So, yay, it works. And it works with the command stuff here. And like I said, there's so much more that you can do, whether you want to maybe mix your OBS controls with your VTuber, like your VNyan stuff, or maybe if you are like a coder and you want to do a lot more crazier stuff, you can. There's so much that you can do with StreamerBot, but again, I can only explain so much because a lot of the specific steps are case-by-case basis. But at the very least, I hope this should give you at least the basics on understanding StreamerBot, especially with the new UI and having it set up with both the redemption, at least the Twitch ones, and at least a command stuff. So you can set that up with YouTube, and yeah, pretty much that's, again, like I said, the basics of setting StreamerBot with VNyan, and I hope that this tutorial does help you out. And again, if you have any other questions, I will leave in the description below the 2 Discord servers, StreamerBot and Suvi's, otherwise you can call it VNyan server or Suvi's Discord server. It should be there in the description, so please check those out. If you need any further assistance, I can do my best to try and answer questions. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Thank you to all my Snowflake members. In case you don't know, I have YouTube membership, so if you want to further support this channel and what I do, then feel free to join the Snowflake members. Otherwise though, just your support means so much to me, and I appreciate every ounce of it. Either way though, with that being said though, hey, goodbye everyone! I hope to see you guys next time, okay? Bye bye!